Hi, my name is Massmoon, and I want to do a Grandmaster live commentary with Attal. Getting right into it, I'll do a quick overview. Yes, I'm 70k with my Attal. It does help to be overleveled. Grandmasters do start at 64k. And then here's a brief overview of my artifacts. So I really love the stat artifact, Healing Radiant, and then the Ring of Convergence for that extra overshield that you get, and then Ring of Courage for the boost in damage, and finally, whenever I'm healing, getting another boost of damage is pretty awesome. This also works for PvP. I'd say I'm primarily a PvP player for shifting gates, so that's why I chose to do that setup. As you can see here, I went ahead and decided to kind of bait a team in with Tan 2 because people have a misconception on how good Attal is. And so I usually have to select Tan 2, make sure to double check the other team composition, make sure I have good teammates, like not that I have good teammates, but that they're picking people that will still complement Attal, because you shouldn't just pick Attal just to pick Attal. If you really do need a Tan 2 to like pick up the slack, then you have to make that strategic decision. So right off the bat, you'll see, her ability is extremely strong. So I kind of blaze through anyone without a shield. And then also don't underestimate the blinding here. Blinding is insanely good. And then defeating a target and getting your extra energy shots that come out of your gun when you're shooting is pretty great. You'll notice that in that last encounter, I went straight for, I'm trying to do my job here. When you pick Attal and you're in a Grandmaster, you got to make sure that you're doing your part. You pick her for piercing, and you had to make a conscious choice to pick her for piercing over Tan 2. So you got to make sure that you're just as good, if not better, than a Tan 2 coming in. This also means making sure to, I think it's important for supports or defense in general to try to be the main person pointing things out. So I like to point out, like I'll ping locations that I think should be a spot where you should stand. If I want my team to kind of get on me, especially if I'm on Tan 2. Or you'll notice I will ping a target that we should be focusing on. These guys were already pretty good, I started noticing. So, they did a good job of kind of as soon as I pinged them, because earlier you would have seen I pinged the champions that I want to go to in order. And they did a good job of focusing those. You don't always get that, so that's kind of a downside. You just kind of get what you get unless you have a dedicated team. And yeah, luckily this team is just kind of blazing through. I was thinking about using my super that round, but I had a feeling that Estella was going to use her super. Those shields there, if we didn't have a Ningfei on the team, I probably would have instantly went for the ability to break those shields. Now we're just kind of cruising through. On this upcoming part, usually I will ping a spot for positioning. It's another for this particular Grandmaster. So just to make it easier for everyone, I'll just kind of aim over, and I think I might do it here. Let's see. So I ping this spot. Yep. I'm just telling them hey, let's go over here. I'll try to blind some enemies. I'll grab the objective. As a healer, I try to do the objective. It just kind of depends though. If I feel like my teammates are good enough. Now you see there, prioritize your life and your teammate's life when you're doing the objective. So you notice, even though I didn't get a chance to use the cannon fully to try to get rid of those boxes, I dropped it right away and started healing myself and my teammates. Here, I take time to heal myself. I heal the teammate. I get the res. I do another heal on the Ning Fei just in case he gets blasted or focus fired. Then I kind of step back to my position. As the healer, it's your responsibility to, not die. You want to do your best to not die, so you're always playing cover. It may be kind of messed up or awkward, like, oh man, I can't go out there and start, doing damage. But, if you go down, there's a higher chance that your teammates are going to go down if they're a little bit reckless or if they're just really aggressive, I understand offensive characters being aggressive. Also, you want to be paying attention to those bars. If you're support, you are looking at your teammates and you'll notice like their health bar starting to blink red. Like you should be on it. If you have an ability ready, then you should be healing them. That's the other thing I kind of like about 10.2, or I like about Estella versus 10.2. The healing tracking is a lot faster. You're going to see in this next room that we get to. I feel like I have both more control over who I heal and how quickly I can heal them. So this Ning Fei is really aggressive. So he goes up there and he starts, as soon as we take out this guy, which I probably mark, like, hey, we need to take care of that Cyclops. Always take care of the Cyclops. So we work on the champion. Okay. I heal. Yeah, you see, I anticipated that my teammate was going to get hurt pretty bad because the champions hit hard. So I just went ahead and pre-healed. And then I'm about to do the same thing here because I see him getting attacked. So I just kind of look over. And that's what I love about Attal. And I think there's a high skill ceiling there. As long as you're aiming at your buddy and you hold down for at least a second, like a split second, like you will actually heal them and not just heal yourself. If you need to heal yourself, you kind of just, tap the button, of course, and that will just heal you. So yeah, you see that I'm making sure to mark the enemies in order that I think we should be attacking. I'm always thinking, those Cyclops that shoot the purple void cannon stuff, they got to go. I'm trying to get them out as soon as possible. And, because basically if you're worried about other things, you're trying to take care of a champion, trust me, you'll look the other way. And it's happened on D2. Look the other way and then all of a sudden you're dead. And you're like, what happened? Yeah. Guys, ignore the guy. So this is why, as an Attal player, I'm actually using the linear fusion rifle. When you switch modes, and you probably didn't see it, but on the way over here, traversing to the boss, I switched to the other mode. Yeah, I'm healing my partners there. Then getting a little bit aggressive. Yeah. I switched modes with the Queenbreaker bow, linear fusion rifle. And that mode that I have, you'll see it at the end when I show the entire build. I'll go through the whole thing. It's nice because when you're hitting an enemy, it'll do a chain lightning attack on multiple enemies at a time. You might see it again, but you would have had to see it as soon as I start shooting the boss and we came in there. There are enemies around him, so you'd see the chain lightning. So yeah, strategically just trying to, keep cover. See, I have to stay alive. I have to prioritize staying alive. Can't get hungry. I'm trying to keep those guys alive, but do damage. But, someone got hit pretty hard. They weren't really playing, playing back or playing their life. So it's fine though. We have plenty of reses. As you can see, we have 8 reses. That's great. That means people were getting healed, not dying, as well as maybe just good team plays as well. Yeah, I always notice that people are playing a little aggressive. Yeah, you saw the chain lightning there. It actually killed my teammate there. It's probably my fault because a bunch of enemies around. But Yeah, that was quick. That was a Grandmaster with the tall. Um, People out there who are afraid to join in Attal, don't be afraid. But also, people who are playing Attal, you need to like make sure you're setting an example that like, Attal can be a really strong player to have on your team. And you know, I think people just like are like, oh, we don't have a tan too. Like I've had people just drop out, or they're just not playing right because they've like lost hope or something. But don't lose hope. If your Attal is playing correctly, they could be very effective and really honestly an OP like character. Definitely a sleeper. I've seen it around YouTube, but this is just another video for you Attal players that like further confirming like how strong Attal is. Make sure that you're building up alternate characters still. Like I'm all in on having a favorite character, but you do need to make sure that you've got other characters on deck to swap based on your team composition to pick up the slack for champions and whatnot. If we didn't have a piercer and I didn't pick Attal and I didn't pick Tantu, we would be stuck. Don't get it twisted. I can't tell you how many Grandmasters I've gone into and no one picked a piercing character like Tantu or Attal, and yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're going to get stuck in one of the two areas. So anyway, you can pause at any time. This is actually the build setup, the perks and whatnot. I do have everything maxed out, but I will say that even without all of Attal's, copies or whatever, tier 6 copy or whatever, I'd say the top 2, top 3, you're good. Like three copies of Attal. I know it's more than that, but three copies of Attal, and I think you're good. And yeah, just be way over leveled and just play smart. I like Queen Breaker Bow because of the rate of fire. I think it's perfect for champions, but yeah. Hopefully this was informative, and hopefully this helps out with all my Attal players out there. And yeah, good luck. I'd say this is probably a little relevant to the new player coming out. I probably won't be building her, but I'll probably make a basic build of her. But I'm more of a Warlock player, so I play every single Warlock in this game. All the way from Ikora to Estella and Gwen. So, but yeah. Anyway, take care.
Me? Like a kitten in a tree. Hang in there, and you'll always succeed.